Hey friends, what's up? This is Mina and welcome to another video on this YouTube channel. We have a new moon solar eclipse happening in just a few days on August 12th. We just had the Lionsgate portal yesterday at the time of me recording this video. So we still have some of that remnant energy all the way up until that new moon time. So we're going to go ahead and keep with our routine and do a divinatory reading first, and then we'll take a little break at the end and just review other correspondences, collective intentions, and ways that this new moon energy can be worked. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, in the center of our new moon solar eclipse reading, we have the Three of Cups showing up. Three of Cups is a beautiful energy of collaboration. It's an energy of relationship building and celebration with others. So we definitely see more of that social atmosphere happening during this new moon time period. So this could be one of those energies where when we are with others, when we are celebrating with others, whether it's something that is a personal accomplishment or an environment, event, situational celebration, we're still building off each other's energy. We're still improving the connection and relation that we have with one another. And it's a sort of energetic boost. It's an amplifier. So if there is an opportunity during this new moon solar eclipse day that you have to, instead of working remote, you're going in office, or, you have that invitation to go out and do something with others. Maybe you came across online, there was an event that piqued your interest. This is definitely a day that is going to be very aligned with community celebration, community uplifting energy. The new moon in Leo is such a bold, illuminated, clarifying. We have that sun that rules Leo, so it's very bright, it's clear, there's understanding, there's direction, there's focus, there's a fine tuning, but there is a very beautiful, loving energy. It even though it is connected with the element of fire, with that lion, we have that courage, we have that emotional depth. So if there is any energy around the heart center leading up to this new moon, is a perfect time to really focus on clearing and cleansing the emotional center. We want to be lighthearted. We want to be easy to forgive. We want to be emotionally in tune and aligned. We also have the Nine of Cups showing up here. This is actually in the position of something that could be a potential blocker, something that could be potentially getting in the way. The Nine of Cups is a great card. It's the wish fulfillment card. It's one of the best cards in the deck, But in the instance where this seems to be a blocker, it could be where we might have a very specific idea in our mind about what manifesting our dreams and wishes look like, and we're not allowing for additional possibility to move through the universe, to be surprised. We're not allowing space for spontaneity, for surprise, for something unexpected to take place because we have everything lined up. Now, there's a nice balance in being strategic and having a routine and having a plan, but we always want to make sure that we're allowing for surprise, that we're allowing the universe to surprise and delight us, to, present a new next step or a new maybe side path. This is really allowing what that journey looks like to take a little detour potentially, to maybe take a different direction. There might be a better and more clear path to your dreams coming true, to manifestation being fulfilled with a detour, with a segue, with a little side path. So I'm really feeling like we have to be okay with it not looking exactly like what we expect it to look like. We have to be encouraging and okay with spirit, with the universe, with God to surprise and delight us in other ways that we might not normally expect. So whatever you're working with, you're working with deities, you're working with spirit guides, you're working with the universe, your higher self, any of those things, it's going to be one of those energies to just be very aware of. Reflecting often, taking stock often, and just being very mindful of, do I have too much rigidity around a certain area of my goals, of my spells, of my manifestation techniques that isn't allowing for a segue, a detour, the response to show up in another way. The energy to focus on releasing at this time, we have the shadow side in this tarot deck. If you resonate with this deck, of course, I will leave it down in the description box which deck it is. So the shadow side is going to be connected to the Devil card in other depictions of the tarot. This is going to be an energy to focus on releasing at this time. So there are many of you who have put very solid intentions, very solid goals, and bold declarations that took place on the Lion's Gate that really focus on what needs to be shed, what needs to be released and removed from your life. This could have been, certain habits, certain routines, or, anything in your immediate orbit that just seems to be an energy that when you encounter it, it drags you down. It feels a little dense. It feels a little bit of a hesitation. That could be connected with something with the Devil's card. That could be connected with, a bad habit that we're trying to work on overcoming, or, a limitation that it's not healthy for us. And we made a declaration during the Lion's Gate and said, like, hey, it's time to let this thing go. It's time to do the cord cutting. It's time to do the cleansing bath, to do the good smudging, to do the shamanic journeying, to do some of that shadow work. Leading up to this new moon is going to be a great time to continue to just focus on release, and also just focus on really just allowing that safe space and being aware of what shadows are, what shadows have the microphone right now, which shadows are really being highlighted and showing up in our lives, and in what way, in what category. So the Devil's card being a energy to focus on releasing, this is the first major arcana card that we've had. We did have the Devil showing up in previous readings last month, and I've seen it in personal and collective reading showing up a lot. So this is a shift in focus. We have been really aware of what our limitations were, what setbacks were showing up. We were really hyper focused on putting a flashlight to areas that have been that obstacle, that roadblock for ourselves or the external reality. And it's time to shift away from that. We've spent a lot of time in that space. Now we need to focus our sights on a different energy. And what that energy is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is bold, is not afraid to speak up, is confident, and very secure in their mindset, in the way that they communicate, and in how their life moves. There has been themes of not really being clear in the destination of our path, of our journey, for the past few months at least. And the Queen of Swords is very clear. There's not so much gray area. Now, this can be useful or not useful depending on the situation, but I really feel this connected towards what we are striving to manifest. We can't be too distracted with so many things, or questioning what we want our life to look like, or being stuck in the past, or stuck in limitation and obstacles and roadblocks. It's time for us to put those things away. It's time for us to say, I know what I want. I know the direction I'm going. And yes, I'm open for surprises and detours and spontaneity, but this is my North Star. This is exactly where I'm going. This is exactly what my passion is. And though it may have more of a spectrum, that I have, different areas that I like to visit, ultimately I'm here doing this. This is my calling. This is what I want to see. So this new moon, I'm really getting this energy of clear focus, clear declaration, and clear communication. That could extend to our relationships with others and how we are communicating with others, but it's really also what's going on behind closed doors. How clear are we when we are in meditative space, when we are in channeled space, when we are communicating with our guides or our higher selves, or, we are in magical space, we are in prayer space, whatever that looks like. How clear are we? Can we even truly admit what it is that we actually want without any sort of guilt or shame or worry, or I can't be happy because, there's suffering in the world. I can't be successful when others are struggling. There's a balance in all things. We can use the resources from our success to help others in those situations. We don't have to be rich in order to care about other people and the environment, by no means. But I'm saying every experience in life creates a ripple of frequency. And so the more that we find dedicated time during the day to really focus on improving our mindset, improving our communication, really understanding what we are putting out there, what this ripple is that we are putting out, it aligns us with our destiny. It aligns us with what success looks like for us. And that ripples out to create more of the energy of magic and healing and love and manifestation and peace. It's the relief, it's the healing, it's the nurturing that when you're out in the store, people feel it coming off you. So by no means do we have to remain in a state of fear or worry or doom-based mindsets. We can choose to focus our energies on small, clear ways that help us align with a better frequency. The next step that we have here is the Three of Pentacles. This is in reverse, and it did show up before I shuffled these cards, so this card really needed to come out. With the Three of Pentacles in reverse, this is going to be an excellent moment during this new moon solar eclipse to really hold space with the different sides of you, the different selves. There are a lot of people that talk about how it's a lot harder to manifest certain things when there's a version of you that doesn't want it to be successful for whatever reason. We need these different sides to collaborate. Collaboration is definitely a key here. We have 3 different cards showing up in this collaborative space. With the Three of Pentacles, we're really looking at this collaboration for what are your habits? What is your health? What is your daily routine? What are we doing with money? What are we doing with our resources? How are we sharing of our resources, or how are we using our resources? Is there too much that we are doing because we feel like we have to do it all, when really we can start to extend and outsource some of these things? We also have the King of Wands showing up. So there's an energy of fear of success. Fear of success. I think that there are many times when, as we get closer to what we want our life to look like, it can kind of freak us out a little bit, because whether we fail or we succeed, it still creates change. It still changes what the normal routine looks like. And there's a lot of reflection that goes into it, and a lot of concern as far as like, can I really do this? Can I really be this? Can I really make this work on a regular routine every week? Can I still show up and be passionate? Or is it too much? Am I really just not ready for it? Is it kind of scary? I don't really, what I tried so hard to get here, but now I'm here and doing it, and it's kind of freaking me out. So that's some of the fear that we see around this time, because this new moon solar eclipse coming right after the Lionsgate portal, it's really an open access point. Portal, Lionsgate portal. It's an open access point where we can see manifestation occur smoothly, quickly, and in ways that may surprise us, which is why we spoke earlier about, be open to things showing up in areas that we weren't expecting it would come through. So really want to focus on, if any of that energy shows up, if any of those fears or concerns resurface during this time, we want to acknowledge them. We want to be able to recognize them when they show up in our lives, in our minds, or it could even be in our environments with certain people around us, maybe being dream killers when we share certain things. So we want to be able to recognize when it shows up. We want to be able to acknowledge that it's there, and then we want to shift into a different mindset. So we definitely want to have a little bit more energy protecting us during this time. 9 of Wands. We're right there. We're so close. We've worked really hard for this. We've done a lot of work over the years to really strive to get where we are. And let me just say, it doesn't have to look like what other people expect it to look like. What I'm thinking of is, there are certain times where we feel like we have to have accomplished XYZ and it has to look a specific way. for example, oh, I have to get a certificate, or I have to get a degree, or I have to have had this many clients, or been in business for this many years, or whatever, in order to accomplish this thing. So because I don't have those things, I'm not gonna go for this new opportunity. It can look many different ways. If you can think it, if you can see it, if you can speak it, it can be possible. And this card, this Nine of Wands, is really just a reminder of all the work that we've put in, all the work that we've already spent our time investigating and learning and discovering and experimenting. And, also with this, we've already spent a lot of that energy being like, oh, I don't know. Maybe low-key like self-sabotaging some of the progress to our success. But we want to let that healing in. Ooh, just calling out the St. John's wort at the bottom of this card here. St. John's wort, beautiful yellow flower, very healing, perfect flower actually for the solar eclipse, because when you infuse it in oil, it actually turns red. It kind of feels relevant to me. But that yellow energy right now in Leo, solar eclipse vibe, new moon vibe, yellow gold is going to be a very pertinent energy right now. So spend some time in the sun, be surrounded by yellow things, whether it's like a little piece of jewelry or, citrine crystal, calcite, yellow flowers. Just that's going to be one of the ways. Also look into some of those correspondences, lemon water. Some of those things can just be very gentle soothers to help recondition what we're okay with in our individual lives. So if we have been struggling to overcome certain personal roadblocks, or even community situations, some of this energy is going to give us the confidence boost to really declare boundaries and make radical change in areas that it's really needed. I'm thinking like, been with this toxic situation. It's been depleting me for months. I'm ready to let go of it, but I haven't pulled the trigger. This energy is just super aligned, and it's boosted to say, perfect time. I'm going to ride that wave because it's going to be easier already to let this go. Believe you me, I have done that many years during Leo season. It's just a lot easier to make big changes because there's so much really powerful, quick moving energy where it just feels naturally aligned to make certain shifts. And it's an easier transition because we're doing it along the same planetary and lunar frequencies that are already taking place. So last card I want to pull here, what Spirit wants us to know most out of everything during this reading, during this time today. Like, what is the biggest takeaway that we need to leave with? Interestingly enough, we have the Four of Pentacles. There's a couple things here with the Four of Pentacles. We had the Three of Pentacles before, so we could have way more emphasis on work situations, way more emphasis on monetary or financial or personal goals, the structure and the routine of our day-to-day living during this time. But the fours are all about balance. This four is more like a fortress. It's more the boundaries. It's more the shield. This is also a very big indicator of cautioning us to keep certain things close to our chest. So we did have energies at the very start of this reading with the Three of Cups where we saw, hey, we're in a situation we're celebrating. But back when we pulled this card, it was like, hey, we're celebrating with others, and there's a situation that's happening that we're celebrating, but it doesn't really feel like it's about us, that we're just out there celebrating. And this Four of Pentacles is bringing me back to that, because what it's saying is, keep it close to your chest right now. There may be something that you're going for, specifically in this theme that I was speaking about. And sometimes we really get excited to share. But whether we're using magic and spell work, or we're just trying to be in a good state of frame, so that way we can be performing at the absolute highest level to try to align ourselves with what this next goal is. Sometimes when we share that goal, other people's wishes for us, whether good or bad, could impact the energy that we're putting out there. They don't have to be Aleister Crowley in order to do this. They could just be like, well, I hope you don't get it. That's enough. So I'm not saying that something so simple could totally dismantle everything that you're doing. And I'm definitely not saying if other people find out and you didn't immediately tell them, that again, all is lost. But I am saying that from your mouth, from your lips, it might be a good time to just keep it on the DL during this new moon solar eclipse time. So if there's something that you're actively putting together, you're actively working on building up right now, you're working on manifesting this new thing, or you're in this building stage and you're starting to see momentum, protect it. Protect it. Keep it a little bit sacred. People don't even have to say out loud what they wish for you. They may even just have a thought, or you may even just think they might have a thought, and it can mess up the momentum of your excitement. When we talk about manifestation, the perpetual emotions and visualization, when we check back in with what we're striving towards, and the revolution or the cyclical frequency of it, anyway, how it's like moving, and where we are every time we check in is going to impact it. So I'm thinking of, hey, I'm really excited about this thing. I'm telling someone because I'm really excited about it. They say, oh, cool. But even just saying it out loud and their response, I'm like, do they really think it's, oh, cool? You know, what are you? Just that energy alone sometimes can be enough to put a kink in the chain, or, you know, kind of throw it off gear a little bit. It's definitely not the case all the time, but it definitely is right now. So get out there, socialize, have fun, put yourself out there, be clear in your communication, be aware of your mindset, focus on addressing all of the different selves and what sides of you might be a little bit hesitant with what you have going on. Really let go of so much past or rear view mirror focus. We're ready to look ahead. We're ready to look to the future. When you have something bringing you back, acknowledge it, send it some love, and bring yourself back to what we're moving towards instead. You've spent a lot of time working and dedicating and striving and experimenting. So don't let the fear of success hold you back. Protect yourself, nurture your energy, and set boundaries in place so that way you have an environment that does allow for spontaneity, but keeps you pointed to your North Star, keeps you pointed true to where you are striving to go. And that is going to be the perfect recipe for this new moon solar eclipse, for you to really get that boost and for you to ride that boost to make whatever necessary changes or up levels to what it is that you're focused on or striving towards right now. Okay. So I'm going to just take a little pause, and I'm going to do a little digging into this new moon solar eclipse in Leo and see if there's any specific themes for spell work or intentions that we can do just to wrap up this video. All right, so working magically with a new moon in Leo is all about stepping into your personal power, fueling your creative fire, embracing radical self-love, and claiming main character energy. This is an ideal time to set intentions around confidence, joy, romance, and authentic self-expression. We're in the element of fire. Colors are going to be gold, yellow, orange, bright red, or purple. Great crystals to use during this time are going to be tiger's eye, citrine, pyrite, carnelian, or sunstone. And herbs and scents are going to be cinnamon, ginger, chamomile, anything citrus, or frankincense. And then for the solar eclipse, so the solar eclipse is a powerful new moon that acts as an energetic reset. We've been talking about that a lot. That's been showing up a lot. Because the moon covers the sun, the normal flow of light and shadow shifts. Many practitioners use this in-between time for deep shadow work, releasing old habits, and setting bold new intentions. So it's a great time to charge our tools, placing crystals, tarot decks, or jars of water outside or on a windowsill to absorb this unique and potent energy of the alignment. It's a great time to set intentions. So as the light of the sun returns, focus on what you want to grow, build, or invite into your life next. What do we want to see showing up next? Visualize this blocked sun pulling away your inner doubts and energetic blocks. Write down any habits or fears or toxic patterns on a piece of paper. Burn or tear the paper as the shadow peaks to symbolize letting go. So those are some additional great ideas to do during this time. So the new moon is going to be at its 0% illumination on Wednesday, August 12th, 12:30 CST. That's my time zone. So of course, use a time zone calculator to see where that would be in your time zone. And then the solar eclipse is going to be starting about an hour before that. So it's going to be partial here in the US. There will be some places that can see more of the solar eclipse, but it's going to be right around between 11:30 to 1:30 CST, around that time zone that we can see part of that solar eclipse. So this is what I have for you today. Lots of messages aligned with what those additional intentions presented to us. Lots of amazing themes here. It's really that bold boost, really that time for that bold boost, whatever that looks like for you. So drop a thought down in that comment section below if you want to share any insight, any plans, or any setbacks that you're really ready to say, I'm releasing this, declare. So thank you so much for joining me in this video today. Stay wild and spooky, but most of all, stay magical. This is NeMina, and I will see you next time. Until then, take care.